How you doing, folks? It's Nick here again, and today we are going to replace the gear knob Gaiter, gear shift Gaiter, with one that I've gotten, which Santa got me from Top Gaiters. Link in the doobly-doo to this specific one. These ones in various different colours as well, of threading. I wanted black and red to match this, as well as the overall colour scheme that I want for the car. So we are inside my 2005 Daihatsu Copen, and this entire surround here needs to be removed, so this entire assembly pops off. So the first thing we need to do is remove my aftermarket gear knob, which I hope you've seen the video. I will also link to it in the doobly-doo. It's relatively straightforward. I decided not to go with the leather knob in the end because it was it fell off in my hand while I was driving, which is always fun. So you will need, first off, obviously your Gaiter. You'll also need a trim removal tool. You could use a spoon, like in my how to replace your radio video, but in that video, in the second video, I went out and bought some trim removal tools for doing jobs like this. Made of very, very soft plastic, so they're not going to damage or scuff my cabin inside, because these parts are always quite expensive, unfortunately. However, you can generally pick them up relatively cheap from breakers, if you don't mind them being second hand. So the trim clips on here, there's one here, one here, one here, one here. Might possibly be one on the top, I'm not 100% too sure, but I most certainly know that there is one on either side. So we'll start from the top and work our way down. No, there's no clips on the top. So we'll work from the side. It gets a bit fiddly, but it is possible. It's the first one. So your best bet is to work up from the top and then push your way down, because the trim removal tool is not going to have enough space to do its magic if you don't. You need to always be very careful when you're doing it, which is why I actually paid for trim removal tools, because of the soft plastic. I don't want to damage anything, because I don't want to have to pay the money. Now, so lift her out like that. There she comes. And this is what your gear shift looks like. In Ireland you can actually fail the NCT, which is the Irish version of the UK's MOT, if you have a rip in your Gaiter, which I think is a bit silly. And the back side, you can see, well, basically the back side of the Gaiter, it gets a bit fiddly on the inside. I'm not too sure how to remove these, so I am going to have a look on Copen World and figure out what needs to be done. I also might possibly have broken a bit of my trim clip. Shite. Oh well, live and let learn. That's why you don't use too much force, because otherwise you bend your clips. I'll talk to you in a minute. So I've taken the gear lever entire assembly out of the car. It's coming up to night time now. Unfortunately, when I got the text message, I'd stuff to do. So I take the entire assembly home with me, as well as the Gaiter and my trim tools. So this Gaiter itself has the little metal part at the top of it, as well as this rim, which is quite difficult to pull out. According to the guys on Copen World, you stick something like a screwdriver, in my case a trim removal tool, in and twist it until it just pops out. It should just relatively pop out. It's fairly straightforward. But before I do that, I'm going to take this entire assembly and invert it. So I get the metal part of the Gaiter. So we can see here it's held on with some wire, so I'm just going to remove that as gently as I can. The wire is quite fragile. Okay, and then push that out of the way and untwist. This metal assembly will need to go into the new Gaiter. That's why I'm doing this. So that's that untwisted. Right there. And this should, I'm not sure if you're supposed to pull or push, but it'll start, so I'll finish, and out it pops. And this just sits on top and kind of holds the, this part, if it was inverted the other way around, holds this part up. I suppose the best way of putting it. So put this down somewhere safe as well. And we'll start on this. So it should just be relatively straightforward of sticking it in. I need a thinner one. We'll see now in a second. Oh, no, pop. Pop. The remaining parts would like to pop out. These little black nodules are incredibly brittle and liable to break, so just keep that in mind when you're removing the gaiter, as I have already broken one of them, which is rather annoying. I'm going to sit down and do the rest of this. Try it with another two. Try with this part. With this one. It's too thick. It's too thick. Twist. It's not very tight. It should just be a case of popping off, but it's not for some strange reason. It doesn't particularly want to. Let's try going in from this side. It's all incredibly tight. Oh, it turns out that breaking these little fingers doesn't really matter too much. They're kind of designed to break. At least that's what I've read on the forums. Aha, finally. Except I broke the knobbin. Oh well. Yep, I broke them all. Bugger. Oh well. So, finally got it removed, and I broke 3 out of the 4 little holes that you're supposed to put the gaiter on, because I'm a fool. However, there are, you probably can't see it, there are little cuts here in the fabric itself, so that should suffice. What I'm first going to do is invert this gaiter. Hopefully get it right this time. Pretty sure it's this way. It's supposed to be around the other way. We'll try it the other way. It's not too shabby. So get our wire and tighten everything up. Feel in for the little grooves. Yeah, it's not too bad. So I want it to be fairly short that way. Now the correct way, I think it is. So I'll line it up with this hole. That hole just there. It would be easier if I had the other holes to clip into, but it doesn't matter. I have glue anyway, so I should be able to glue them back in. Should I actually need them. But I don't think I will. And thankfully all the gaiters from Top Gaiter have all the holes in the required spots. It does the center console, 2 for the, yeah, there should be a hole there. It would be nice if there was one there. Oh well. For the center console and the handbrake, this as well. Some for the sun visors, although I don't know how good they would actually be, because sun visors are quite annoying in the Copen. But we'll see. We'll see if Santee will bring more stuff in the new year. So pop this top back on, which is the right way around, of course. Only going one way. We'll try and clip everything back in together. Okay, so those clipped in quite easily enough. But unfortunately not super fantastic. So let's see, what I'm going to have to do is get some glue and stick it in. It seems to be the only logical solution I can come up with at the moment. Because if you tap it in, the whole thing just falls out. Because I broke the nubbins, because I'm a fool. I might be able to work around that though. I doubt it. So I think it's time I pause the camera and try and fix the complete and utter nightmare that I've just caused myself. Yay. So I ran a thick bead of Yoo-hoo all around the inside of this retaining clip, and I was basically holding it down now until, or holding down some of the problem areas until the glue has a chance to dry. It's been doing this for approximately 3 minutes. Should be dry really soon. Usually is. And I think what I'll do next is, when I have the Yoo-hoo open, is the center console, which is in the other video. Might as well get them all, try and get them all done at the same time before the Yoo-hoo dries. It's actually a very, very good glue. I'm impressed by it. I've never used it before, but it seems to be very good. Better than Loctite anyway for porous materials. So that's it. The next part of this, the next thing I should be doing, I should say, is installing this back into the car, which is just basically straight down, job done. So I will see you in a minute. So a few days have passed and the glue has dried on the gear gaiter. So it's now just a simple matter to install it. Literally just goes down. You thread through the actual gear lever itself, clip in, and that's it. Reattach the gear knob. Relatively straightforward, threaded gear knob, and that's it. Job done. Relatively straightforward. If you don't count the drying time, you're talking maybe 15-20 minutes. You don't have to count drying time if you don't break your clips, as I have the little molded clips. There's some talk on Copen World that if you push in on those clips they pop out, although you'd probably be better off to just stick a bit of glue, either Yoo-hoo or Loctite or some other form of super glue, just to make sure that everything stays in place properly. That's about it. It's a nice, easy enough mod. I think it looks very well. It does match the colour scheme that I'm going for in the car of black and red. And all in all, I'm fairly satisfied with it.